Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another round of the Misfits Racing League. It is, of course, Season 2, round number 11. We're going to Spa. It is the Belgium Grand Prix, and I am super excited for this. Joining me today, as always, is Henry. How you doing, Henry?
I'm okay, Striff. How about yourself?
Oh, this is going to be intense, man. I don't know what we're going to see today. I hope the weather stays calm for these guys because, as you and I both know better than most, and the rain here can be extremely difficult. And of course, we had to deal with some of that yesterday in our league racing. But of course, let's take a look at where these drivers have gone already. We have completed 10 rounds of racing here so far in Season 2 of Misfits Racing League. The Tier 2 drivers have only completed 2 rounds, and that will be, of course, rounds number 9 and 10, Britain and Italy. Of course, Tier 2 began their journey here in Season 2 in round number 9. But of course, our Tier 1 drivers have been through Abu Dhabi, Canada, France, Austria, Spain, Russia, Brazil, and Germany. And of course, the Tier 2 drivers joining them on the calendar for 9 and 10. And then, of course, after that, today begins the second part of the calendar that we introduced later on in Season 2. Belgium, round number 11 today. Hungary next week. Bahrain, Baku, Australia, Mexico, and Suzuka to round things off for this season. I am extremely excited to take a look at how these guys fare in today's race. Now, taking a look at the teams, we have, of course, 20 drivers on the grid. Extreme 1409 and Stevo over at Ferrari Astrodite and Jeb in the Haas today. Racer 33 and Nigel over at Renault. Liam and Lutra in Mercedes. Robbo and Maxim at Alfa Romeo. We got It's a Max and Juicebox in the Red Bulls. Tammy Halla and Kai Bacchini back over at Williams. Funky JJ and Matt in the McLarens. And we have a new driver on the full-time roster. That's JM2 over at Toro Rosso. You may be wondering, where did Bois go? And Bois has been promoted to the Red Bull racing team for Tier 1. So you will see him later on this evening when we get into that racing action. But it is CJ Virtual and Ferg Pavia, aka Alonso, over in the Racing Point. Take a look at how the standings are going this season so far after 2 rounds. Looking at things after Italy, we have Astrodite currently leading the championship, and it is very tight at the top 3 right now. Lutra in second with 34 points. Bois, 32 points in third. Jay in fourth with 24 points. Liam is right behind him with 23 points. Maxim in sixth. Kai in seventh. Gadwin in eighth. Jeb in ninth. And CJ rounding off the top 10. Also scoring points this season, Extreme, Ferg Pavia, and Matt, 11 through 13 there. The rest of the grid is scoreless. Now, let's take a look at the Constructors' standings. The Constructors' standings today for Tier 2, Mercedes is currently leading things with 57 points, with Haas 40 points, Toro Rosso 38 points in third, McLaren 25 points in fourth, Alfa Romeo in fifth, Williams in sixth, Racing Point seventh, and Ferrari has now scored some points. They are in eighth. Renault and Red Bull, unfortunately, no points accredited to them yet. But that is going to be the constructor standings, and I do believe we are ready to jump into this race in just a few moments as I take a look at what is going on in game. We are in the qualification session. If you'll just excuse me for one moment, some technical difficulty stuff, which I don't like to deal with. I'm not getting any game audio right now for some reason. So hopefully I can fix that.
It looks like a dry quali and a dry race for these drivers today.
Very good. But unfortunately, I'm not picking up any audio from our game at the moment, which is extremely discouraging. So hopefully I'm able to get that fixed up real quick. In the meantime, I will jump back on over to our teams page. And I will try to get that sorted out for you guys. That is the first time we've had an audio bug on stream. Sorry about that, guys. We'll just keep that going for a moment, and I will be right back with you, and we'll jump into qualifying as soon as the audio decides it wants to play proper. For some reason, my audio is absolutely horrendous right now. It doesn't want to come through proper. So I apologize for that, everybody, as I try to deal with this issue.
Just a quick update for you guys. Kai Vicini puts in a 1:43.7 for his first lap. He goes P1.
Thank you for the update. We should be good to go back on circuit here. It is Spa, and things are looking dry here for qualifying. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Henry, fortunately, has been able to see things from start to finish here in qualifying. Everybody looking pretty quick so far. Jay, a 144. Liam, a 144 as well. And Astrode, a 144 flat as he crosses the line there in the Haas. Very quick from all of these guys so far here in Spa.
I was hoping for a wet race, to be honest. I wasn't used to a bit of action.
I think a wet race would have been really interesting. Of course, these guys last week had a wet race in Italy, so I guess it's their turn for the dry conditions. Maybe we'll see Tier 1 have a dry race later on. That would be extremely exciting, as it throws a lot of practice, I'm sure, these drivers have been doing out the window, as we look for another driver about to start a lap. You see Matt there in the McLaren currently on his out lap. We have a few drivers on the grid today filling in as reserves. Jack S. We have, we have Jack S. and Sensorless filling in as reserves today. I do believe the rest of the drivers on the grid are the full-time roster drivers.
Yeah, that's correct.
JM2 is making his debut today in his full-time seat as well, so he will most definitely be looking to put on a good show for us today. Juicebox in the Red Bull now, currently on a flyer as he goes through Sector 2. We'll go on board with him. . always happy to see a full grid. Of course, we have 20 drivers lining up today for this race.
Tammy improves, but it's not enough, unfortunately.
Juicebox
Jack
coming
is
up
on
on some
fire.
traffic here. That's Matt off on the inside. You see Juicebox come through this final chicane. Matt pulls off as tight to the inside as he can to let him through, and it doesn't appear to have invalidated his lap or impeded him in any way. So great job from the McLaren driver here. Of course, taking a look at the grid, we have a look-see at tires there, and I think that's Matt now beginning his flying lap as well in the McLaren. But we have Gadwin currently a 145.5 in 7th on the medium compound tires, Henry.
Very nice from him. And it looks like Tammy's off on top of Eau Rouge with no front wing. Have to box and get a new one. Costs a lot of time on Spa.
Coming down this downhill, long, well, I'd say slow and long right-hander. It is pretty well a hairpin, I call it the downhill hairpin here in Spa, but Matt flying through Sector 2 right now, coming down the hill.
See if we can keep it tight in the apex there.
He drops it into 4th there for some rotation, keeps it in 4th, rounding the next turn, I should say. Coming round, about to cross the Sector 3 split. He's looking quite quick right now on those soft compound tires. Currently 12 out of 20 drivers have set times here. Matt is looking to be the 13th driver to set a time here so far, and hopefully he's able to jump into some solid points positions here. He was looking quite good racing this circuit yesterday, and we have a retirement.
Jeb is retired.
And that is Jeb up in Eau Rouge. Very unfortunate by the Haas
very nice
driver.
from Matt. 144.1 in the soft tyres. And JM2 and Tammy have both retired.
Ooh, very, very close from It's a Max there. You can see him flying up Eau Rouge. Unfortunately, Jeb's car. Ooh. Not too Jeb's car was...
I did not see, unfortunately.
Did he terminally damage the car?
I think so, yes. Literally on top of Eau Rouge.
Very interesting, as the car was kind of in the center of the circuit there. So It's a Max taking a 5-place grid penalty as a result of just, I guess, a slight tap to the Haas driver. So hopefully he's able to put that car up on a good position, because he is going to now, unfortunately, drop back 5 positions.
Gadwin's retired.
And we have a retirement, and that is Gadwin.
Don't know where that was. Can't see on the map. Maybe he retired at the pits.
I do believe it was a pit stop retirement.
I believe race is on a fly right now. Let's see if we can improve on a 146.4.
On board with the racer right now as he flies through Sector 3 in the Renault.
He does.
Very nice. Into 5th with a 144.4. Look at the times on the grid right now. A lot of 144s on the board. This is looking like it's going to be quite a competitive race, Henry, and I'm hoping we see a ton of overtaking here in the Tier 2 race.
Who's your dark horse this evening?
Gadwin.
Gadwin?
I think Gadwin is my dark horse this evening.
Starting maximum 10th on the mediums.
He showed us a very good performance in Silverstone on the medium compound tires. I do believe, if my memory serves me right, he started that race on the medium compound tires and wound up with a solid finish. Looking for a few more drivers. Robbo in the Alfa Romeo currently on a flyer. Unfortunately, he's invalidated. The lap will jump on with another driver currently flying. Let's see who else we can latch onto here. It looks like Liam is on an in-lap. Aphrodite on an invalidated lap. A lot of drivers in the pits right now. Currently 5 minutes in the session remaining.
Aphrodite goes pole. I did not see that.
Aphrodite took pole away from Kai Bacchini by, wow, look at that margin. 4 thousandths of a second is the gap between our position 1 and 2 drivers here ahead of this race start. So extremely, extremely tight front row right now. Maxim, a 144 flat, is the next closest to those two in the Alfa Romeo. And of course, Henry, you know how I am when it comes to Maxim and Liam. Canadian drivers, of course, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe JM2 is also Canadian. So get it, boys. Get it, boys. I want to see you guys up front. Jackass now in the other Renault, flying up through Eau Rouge. Let's have a see how he goes. Very clean for him through there. DRS wide open on the back wing of that Renault. Storming down into Sector 2 now. Dropping the gears down into 4th, keeping it in 4th, getting that rotation out of the car. He's looking very good here, Henry. Coming around through Sector 2, going down the hill we now.
Yellow flags at 2.
Looks like Maxim pulling off on the inside there, allowing the Renault by. Jack taking a little bit of that inside curbing around that left-hander down the hill. Very, very careful not to spin out his car. That curb can send you a number of different ways. Again, on that inside curbing here, personally, if I was driving, I feel as though I would have flung my car through a wall taking some of that curb, but Jackass is just showing his race, his handling skill. I'll call it handling skill. Through this 3rd sector now we go. Currently a 155.1 is the time, but he is looking quite good here, so hopefully he is able to improve. And there is a Williams coming up in front of him here. Not going to affect him even remotely, and he crosses the line of 146.9, jumping him up a couple of slots into 14th there. Out of the 20 drivers on the grid, we have 3 who were unable to set times.
Top of Eau Rouge, another victim.
Have a look, see who that is. It looks like Sensorless in the Ferrari, unfortunately, is out of qualification here with 2 minutes remaining. And Kai Bacchini now flying down into Sector 2 we go in that Williams. He is looking to catch pole position and take it back away from the Haas, but an invalidation. Just a slight cut of the curbing, or exceeding the track limits there. Very unfortunate for the Williams driver. And Aphrodite is on an outlap right now, flying through Sector 2, so he is going to be looking to improve. Ooh, catches a lot of that inside curbing there. He has to get it under control. He does a great job. It's either he gets that car under control right there, or he is out of that session. With the amount of speed he was carrying, that is almost a guaranteed car retirement in qualifying.
Do you think he's on a flyer?
Yeah, he's on an outlap at the moment. He's about to start, and I want to see if he's going to improve. Maxim looks as though he's flying right now. He's got that battery turned all the way up, getting as much power out of this Alpha as he can. Moving down through into Sector 3 now. We'll see if he's able to improve when he crosses the line in just a few moments.
See what time he can get. Matt's going up a Rouge now. a flyer right now. Looks like J trying to improve on 145.9. Jack S, see if he can improve. Goes over the line.
Maxim goes into the
He does
pits.
not.
So Astrode flying up Eau Rouge now.
It looks like he'll be getting P1 at this point. Unless Mac and Liam put in a really good lap.
As Astrode is currently locked into that pole position, we'll jump on with Matt as he's flying down the hill right now in the Renault. Goes a little outside. It doesn't invalidate. No. And he's very, very lucky to get away with that here as he moves through this right left-hander.
Jay coming over the line now. So you can put that McLaren at the top somewhere. And he does with a 143.9 in third place.
Matt currently down about half a second right now. He's not having that last lap that he wanted. Of course, his teammate jumping into third there, Jay, doing a really good job of putting the McLarens onto the podium, the provisional podium positions. And that is Matt deciding that lap wasn't very good. Gonna retire the car into the pits there. Catches a little bit of the pit wall on entry. That pit wall, Henry, that pit lane is going to, I feel, catch a few of these drivers out throughout this session as it is one of the more difficult pit lanes. And there's Racer on his flyer. Unfortunately, he spins, he backs things off. He lets Jack S by his teammate. Very nice from him. Very clean. He's checking on the circuit right now.
Liam's backed out as well. Into the pits he goes. And Astrode is back into the pits as well.
Jack on an invalidated lap at the moment. So we are done with qualification, ladies and gentlemen, and the grid is looking like Astrode on pole, Kai Bacchini in second, lining up next to him, and Luktra just jumped very, very close, but he jumped ahead of Jay there. He jumps into third, and that's Jay in fourth, Maxim fifth, Matt in sixth, Liam in seventh, Racer in eighth, Juicebox in ninth, and CJ Virtual rounding off the top 10. Gadwin in 11th. You can see there he had a 145.5 on the mediums, so like I said, Henry, he is going to be my dark horse for this campaign. Extreme in 12th, Sensorless 13th, Ferjay in 14th, Jack S 15th. Now, It's a Max is 16th at the moment, and we saw earlier due to some kind of issue where he may have touched Jeb's car, he received a 5-grid penalty. So not too sure what's going to happen there. He's retired, or he's finished qualifying in that 16th position. We got Tammy in 17th, JM2 in 18th, Robbo in 19th, and Jeb unfortunately retiring at the top of Eau Rouge there earlier in the session. Unable to set a time here in the session. We'll start at the back of the pack.
Cannot wait for this.
As the time clicks down, we are just waiting for the McLaren squad to get Jay's car back into the garage, and we will be away racing in just a few moments. There you have it, folks. There is the grid once again. Astrode on pole. Next to him, Kai Bacchini. Luktra in third, Jay in fourth, Maxim fifth, Matt is in sixth, Liam in seventh, Racer 33 in eighth, Juicebox ninth, CJ Virtual in 10th, Gadwin 11th, Extreme in 14th, Sensorless 13th, Ferjay in 14th, Jack S in 15th, It's a Max 16th, Tammy Halla 17th, unable to set a time. Excuse me, she did set a time of 1:53.4. JM2 unable to set a time here. Robbo in 19th, no time, and Jeb at the back with no time as well. So we will have a formation lap. All of these drivers now finalizing setups ahead of the race, getting those last-minute fuel adjustments in, perhaps adjusting their throttle, a couple of other small tweaks and stuff to their cars. But we will have a formation lap here, and we will have a look at this track. But fortunately, it is going to be a dry race based on what we're looking at. I don't know if we actually had any official word from any of our drivers on the circuit, but it is looking quite dry here. We have a
Yes,
bit of a
dry
disconnect there
session for
from
the race.
JM2. Hopefully he's able to get back in to his car before the race officially begins.
For a strong showing from Asherdite today.
Yes, Astrodate, of course, in the Haas on pole position, looking quite good. Kai Bacchini, though, we saw the gap between those two drivers, and it was extremely tight. And Kai Bacchini, who has had some very interesting races the past couple of rounds, is definitely going to be looking to secure a podium finish here after some very good qualifying from him in Germany and Silverstone.
And we've got 4 drivers on the alternate strategy today. Going for medium straight away.
Gadwin, we saw, had some fairly solid pace on those mediums in quali with that 1:45 time that he's set. So he'll be looking to improve on that as the race unfolds. And like I said, we saw him in Germany go on the harder compound to start the race as well. So clearly very comfortable on those tires. Extreme in the Ferrari, jumps on the mediums. Fergie and Jack on the mids as well. And then we have Tammy, Robbo, Jeb, and Itza Max all on those softs. You can see there, Itza Max has dropped to the back of the grid due to that grid penalty. So he will be looking to catch things up. Remember, guys, if you are new to the channel, this is Misfits Racing League Season 2, the Tier 2 division. We'll have the Tier 1 boys lining up on the grid in just a little bit. But of course, we race every Thursday, and make sure you smash that follow button to know when we go live next. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you're interested in joining the league, whether it be as a full-time driver or a reserve driver, you can definitely hit us up on the Discord. We're always looking for new drivers and members of the MRL community. So if you're looking for a fun community to race in, whether it's in a league or just open lobbies and, make some new friends, check out the Discord, guys. My name is Stryfium. Joining me is Henry. And as Astrodate comes down Sector 3 here, these drivers are going to line up for this race.
Just watch out for Jay's tyres at the start. Be ice cold. Same for Sensorless as well. I don't know what happened at the start to them.
Of course, turn 1, guys. This entire first sector here in Eau Rouge is going to be extremely intense at the beginning of this race. So all of the drivers now getting set. The lights are not on just yet, but you can see all of these drivers are now lined up. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and we're off racing here. And it looks like we've had a delayed start from the lights once again. Very interesting why it does that. I believe it's the second time it's caught me off guard like that. But Astrodate on the inside. There's Jay with an absolute lightning start. He goes off wide. And there's a massive shuffle of positions here. Let's have a look as everybody makes their way up through Eau Rouge right now. Ooh, and there goes Gadwin.
Oh,
Very unfortunate. That's Gadwin off up at Eau Rouge, and that is Tammy Halla in the Williams, who is out of the session here, and we have a VSC deployed. Tons of carnage here up in Eau Rouge, and Luctra, who we saw leading in Italy, is now into lead of Spa. Very, very nice from him. Of course, Kai Bacchini right behind him. Matt and Jay, 3rd and 4th in the McLarens right now. Racer 33 up into 5th in the Renault. Liam in 6th. CJ in 7th. Juicebox in 8th. And Ferg in 9th with Extreme rounding off the top 10 here. Jeb has made his way into 11th.
Wow.
Very nice from the Haas driver. It's just extremely unfortunate. You can see there on his front wing right now, he is missing that left end plate. So he is going to have some kind of aerodynamic instability on those left turns. But hopefully he's able to make up some pace here, and there's just been so much action here.
Just end of sector 2.
Ooh, there's the Red Bull of Juice Box. You can see there with Maxim's camera view off on that left side. No safety car as of yet, just the VSC so far, and Luktra is super far ahead of this grid right now, in lead of this race. And we have a retirement from Racer in Sector 3. You can see there his car missing the front wing. It looks like something may have happened with Kai Bacchini. Kai Bacchini tries to rejoin the circuit, missing a massive amount of that front wing, and he has just had bad luck after bad luck in these races. It's his third race here in Tier 2, and that wing is no longer on that Williams, and he is having a very unfortunate turn of events here in lap 1 of this Belgian Grand Prix. Now, Luktra is very far ahead of JJ, looking to hunt him down. The current intervals on the timing tower are not current. There's been such a shift of positions here through these first opening sectors that I don't even think the game can keep up with where these drivers are as far as time's going right now. So we'll have an updated interval tower once these drivers begin to cross the line into lap number 3. Of course, VSC conditions right now. And the VSC is coming back in. It's green flag racing down through Sector 2.
Luktra with a nice lead over Jay right now.
If I'm Luktra, I have the biggest grin on my face because he has made out like an absolute bandit these past 2 rounds. With the win in Monza last week, he's definitely going to have some great momentum to carry into this race. It's almost like it's a reverse Charles Leclerc from 2019. He won in Spa, and then he won in Monza. So we'll see if Luktra is able to do the reverse and win in Monza and then Spa. So very interesting to see. I'll be rooting for him for sure. Of course, Gadwin has had to pit, as we saw him, my dark horse of the race, unfortunately get tangled up with Tammy Halla going up Eau Rouge. But out of the 20 drivers we saw in qualification here, only 19 were able to begin the race. I believe it was JM2 who unfortunately wasn't able to jump in here, and we have Racer 33 and Tammy out of contention with retirements each. Now, the race gaps have updated. You can see Liam here very close to the rear of Matt. Of course, coming up Eau Rouge, he might have a very good carry of momentum here. Let's see, he's going to have DRS. Is he going to be able to make a move on the McLaren driver? The DRS here, extremely powerful. You can see he's gaining on the McLaren there, but he's not pushing that car too much. He is being patient. He's biding his time. We saw these 2 drivers come wheel to wheel in Italy. Very close in pace, the both of them. We'll see what kind of battle unfolds here as we ride on board with Liam. Down through Sector 2 we go, through this downhill hairpin. Then the long left-hander is coming up down this hill. You can see Matt conserving battery. Liam up the inside, down the hill. He gets on the brakes early. Matt doing a good job of getting out in front there, but he goes a little wide. Not sure if he took a warning for that, but Liam is being very patient here.
I say very nice driving from Liam. Not going for that.
Ooh, and Jeb is up into 7th place. Hold the phone. We're going to jump on with him. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. I think CJ Virtual has dropped back into 8th. You can see there he has major front wing damage on the front left there. And Jeb, who's only, I believe, missing that front left end plate, is getting great pace out of his car right now. And it's Liam looking at Matt right now. He's going up the inside, down into the final chicane of the circuit. Matt on the inside, though, gets the switchback done. They were wheel-to-wheel just for a second there, but it is going to be Liam with the DRS down into Turn 1 in this battle for 3rd position.
Matt goes wide.
Matt goes a little deep and wide there into Turn 1. Liam has a fantastic exit here. You can just see the carry of speed here. They're wheel-to-wheel through the straight here into Eau Rouge. Let's see what happens. Oh my God, Liam jumps on the brakes. That's...
Oh, Matt, no.
No, Matt has unfortunately bottled it at the top of Eau Rouge. Crazy racing from these 2 drivers, and Extreme almost gets smashed by the McLaren. Oh my God, and that's Fergie off the inside of Matt getting by. That was an extremely quick rejoin to circuit there, and a lot of these drivers having to avoid that McLaren in one of, if not the fastest fastest sections of circuit, Jeb is into 5th. He's
Wow,
having an
what a race from him.
absolute drive here on lap 4. We have 22 laps in this race. Jeb, very unfortunate qualification, starting in 19th in this race. He is now into 5th. He is doing a very good job. And guess what, folks? There's a safety car. It looks like we've had a collision of some kind. That is Gadwin, who has now retired his car. Where is he?
I think he's just behind the...
Oh, he's
wow.
in the straight leading up to Eau Rouge there, and you can see some major damage on that Toro Rosso now as the safety car is on circuit. Jackass passing the safety car now. All of these drivers are going to have an opportunity to jump into the pits here. Let's have a look, Henry, at what they do. Our race leader now, Luktra, in Sector 3. More than likely going to jump into the pits.
The mediums can last, as we've discovered in the past couple of weeks. But you have to be very, very, very careful through the race, not to overwear them.
That is right, Henry. For those drivers that are quite good on their tires, realistically, you can actually make those mediums last from lap 2 all the way to the end of the race. And
As Luktra comes in,
it's been proven. I've seen it, I promise. But Luktra into the pits now. He gets out onto some fresh, soft tires, Henry. What do you think about that strategy? Very interesting from him. That is Jay behind him in the McLaren. He jumps onto the mediums. And unfortunately, I've had a little bit of a technical issue. Thankfully, these game issues that I've been having are happening during the not super intense, exciting race moments, but I am going to get back into the race in just a moment, guys, as my Formula 1 2019 client has crashed. Very unfortunate.
Cody's.
Difficulties I'm suffering today on stream. If I can get an invite back to the lobby, Mr. Henry, I would greatly appreciate it. All you got to do is hit pause and go to the invite friends page, and it will let you invite me back.
There is no option, just unfortunately.
There should be if you hit the pause menu. There you go, my friend. Thank you very much.
Hopefully there's no safety car glitch today.
Yes, something that has been occurring recently in these races is, of course, safety car bugs. We saw one last night in another league. Of course, that was PPR, where they had the unfortunate safety car glitch. I appreciate everybody being patient with us as we sort out some technical issues. Unfortunately, we have no control over what the game wants to do sometimes. Back into the game we are, though, and as we are under safety car conditions right now, everybody has switched up their tires, and we have a massive jumble of strategies here. Now, Liam currently leading the race in the Mercedes. We saw his teammate leading previously before the safety car was deployed. We have him on the softs, Extreme behind him on the mediums, Jeb. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeb is currently running in 3rd. He started this race in 19th, and he's doing a fantastic job, and he's decided not to pit here with that front wing damage. We'll see if he decides to pit at the end of this lap. But there has been a massive shakeup and shuffle of strategies here.
And Extreme lost the rear.
So Extreme having some difficulty there. He may have to concede a position as a result of that. As Liam jumps into the pits now, Maxim goes into the pits as well.
And Robbo with a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag.
Yes, the penalty is quite severe here, and that is sensorless. Driving into the rear of the Racing Point CJ Virtual there under safety car conditions. Very unfortunate for the Ferrari, as he definitely took damage on that front wing. We saw some debris leave his car, and that is, I do believe, the front left wing that took the brunt of that damage.
Ashradite I reckon he's got a very good chance of winning this race. Also, Jay on the mediums.
Jeb now leading the race, Henry.
Wow, I didn't see that.
This
Still
is,
yet to pit though.
This is not, you know, Spa never ceases to amaze. And I can't believe the grid that I'm looking at right now. Jeb, ladies and gentlemen, is your race leader here on lap 6 under safety car conditions. He started this race in 19th. We'll have a look at the position changes here so far. Jeb up 18 positions at this point in the race. Ferg Pavia, aka Alonso, up 12 positions. Luktra started in 3rd. He's maintained that position now. He's in 3rd still after pitting. Jay in 4th as well as where he started. Robbo up 13 positions in the Alfa Romeo, and we continue to see penalties being awarded here under safety car conditions. Safety car has now crossed the line, and it will be in at the end of this lap.
Jeb needs to go a bit slower. Safety car is not glitched, thankfully. Thank you, Cody's, for that.
Yes, cheers, Cody's. Sensorless into the pits now in the Ferrari at the end of the safety car. We are off racing again. Let's take a look at turn 1. That's Jeb out in front, getting away relatively clean. Luktra right on the rear of Ferg Pavia. He's going to have a run up Eau Rouge here. Let's take a look at the rest of these drivers. Everyone relatively clean. Astrodite wheel to wheel with Robbo. Oh my God, was that ever close there? Luktra currently in 3rd behind Ferg Pavia on those soft compound tires. He's going to have a look down the inside. He goes up through into sector 2. Very nice overtake from the Mercedes there, and he is getting ready to hunt down that race leadership position once again. Of course, Jeb, with that wing damage on the front of the Haas, you can see there on the front left, he is going to be under serious threat from Luktra on those fresh soft compound tires. We have another shuffle of positions there. It's Kai Bacchini and Matt wheel to wheel down the hairpin. Matt and him getting into a little bit of contact there. Matt pulls back, lets Kai through. But I have a feeling that battle isn't done, as Matt is on much fresher tires at the moment. And the gaps on the grid right now are super, super tight. There's Luktra up the inside of Jeb. Very nice move there from the Mercedes. Jeb, of course, going to be feeling that loss of aero on the front wing, and that's Ferg Pavia. Under threat from Jay now. Jay coming through sector 3 here. Is he going to have enough momentum through the sector to take Ferg Pavia into the final chicane? This is extremely intense racing on the restart here. Henry.
Jackass, unfortunately, spinning it yet again.
Astrodite and Robbo wheel to wheel through sector 3 here. Coming around the turn. There's a big collision. That's the Ferrari of Robbo. He's off into the wall. He's out of this race. We have a VSC deployment. CJ Virtual gets caught up. All of these drivers now going to move up positions, and that is a massive incident in Sector 3. Crazy to catch that here on the broadcast. VSC deployment, and Jeb takes a 5-second penalty with Jay. I can only imagine for trying to slow down that car as a result of the VSC deployment. Jeb definitely going to have some damage on that front wing. It doesn't look like he has too much, though. His wing is the same as before. Jay into 3rd, Ferg Pavia into 2nd, and Luktra leading this race. That was just a very violent collision through Sector 3 there. Wheel to wheel through that fast left-hander. The drivers, they just had that slight tap, and I mean, we saw what happened. Just even a minuscule amount of contact like that through a high-speed corner can put either of those drivers out of this race, and unfortunately we have 13 drivers remaining out of the 19 that began this race, and it's extremely unfortunate that JM2 was unable to join us due to some connection issues, but this race is super chaotic here. We're back to green flag racing. It's Jeb in 4th. That's his teammate Astrodite having a look on the mediums. The grid is starting to space itself out right now. All of these restarts, VSCs, are really playing on the abilities of these drivers right now. You can see Astrolite gaining on his teammate here. We'll see if team orders come into play down into Sector 3. But you can see Jeb doing an extremely great job of keeping up with that McLaren. Jay right now, Jay doing a great job on the podium positions, and that's Astrolite moving up the inside of his teammate. Jeb dropping into 5th, and that's Astrolite securing 4th position.
Oh no, the game.
Looks like Jay has decided to jump into the pits here. Astrolite now into 3rd, Jeb into 4th, Robbo into 5th. Everybody's gonna move up a place, and there's another retirement. That's Jack S. He's off down the hill section, and we'll have to see if there's going to be perhaps another safety car deployment. We've had 2 VSCs here so far and a full safety car inside the first half of this race. There's Kai Bacchini. He has a big slip of oversteer. He gets the car under control. Very great job from him, considering the momentum he was carrying down through those turns. Yellow flag through Sector 2. Matt now in the McLaren looking to catch up with the Alpha. Robbo ahead of him, and there's another flag through Sector 3, and it's Kai Bacchini. The moment we left Kai Bacchini, he's crashed. Extremely unfortunate for the Williams driver. He has just had such bad luck these past few races. Extremely unfortunate for the Williams squad as both of their drivers are out. We saw Tammy the first to go, now Kai Bacchini. 11 out of the 19 drivers who began now remaining here, and we have a VSC on lap 9. Everybody required to slow their delta pace. Henry, have you been able to rejoin our session?
I did not leave. It got better, and then unfortunately it's gone back to the way it was. So I'm gonna have to leave, I think. See, hopefully it fixes itself. Is it lagging for you?
No, I would just keep it how it is.
Okay.
Don't touch a damn thing.
I can't see much, as everything is like 5 FPS.
Well, very unfortunate. Maybe you'll be able to reduce the CPU load on your computer in the background. I don't know what your configuration is, but we are back to green flag racing, ladies and gentlemen, and I just want to take a second to comment. Luktra is currently off to a fantastic lead once again here. We saw it in Italy, we're seeing it here again in Spa. He is 6.5 seconds ahead of P2 right now, and Astrolite is absolutely gaining on the rear of this racing point. Look at the run, look at the speed, look at the momentum. The DRS is now open, and he was already behind that racing point before he even got to use the DRS. And he's already taken a massive chunk of time out of that racing point. The racing point here through these first few turns struggling a little bit, but Astrolite has just gone so far ahead of him. Look at that. He's already made it up a second, and Ferg Pavia goes a little off to the outside there into the dirt. Manages to get the car back under control here, and we have Matt now in P5 catching up very close to the Alfa Romeo of Robbo. We'll jump on board with him, but he's also under threat. There's Maxim up the inside. Oh my God, look at these guys wheel to wheel down the hill right now. That's Maxim out in front. Matt drops into 6th. Crazy racing here so far in Spa in lap 10. Both of these Alphas now running 4th and 5th. The Tier 1 drivers for Alpha gonna be happy watching this right now. Luktra in the lead of this race. Astrolite in 2nd, and Ferg Pavia rounding off the podium positions. And there's Maxim around the outside of his teammate Robbo, and Robbo is now under threat from Matt. They're wheel to wheel through Sector 3 here. The Alpha gets out in front for the time being, but Matt isn't finished with him. Let's jump on board. He's looking at Robbo on those hard tires. He's not gonna have as much pace in the car as the McLaren driver. Matt's looking at him, he's looking inside, he gets really late on the brakes, there's a big collision there, that's
wow.
Matt diving into the final turn of the circuit. He jumps back off onto the shoulder of circuit, that's It's a Max on into the the pit lane. Getting caught up in the pit lane, hopefully he got the car under control. He did, and it's Matt and Ferg Pavia wheel to wheel now. Matt, looks like he took a little bit of damage there on the front wing of that car. Looks like he's missing the front right end plate. Extremely unfortunate, and his teammate Jay, who's now on the 2-lap-old mediums, is catching up, but Matt with the run on First Pavia down through Sector 1 up after a Rouge here with the DRS. He makes the move down the inside. That's the Racing Point, jumping back into the slipstream of the McLaren as best he can. But Matt into 5th, looking to catch up to Robbo once again, and he has quite a good gap to make up here with that damage. Hopefully he's able to get it done. Juicebox and Liam wheel to wheel through into the entrance of Sector 2 here. Very crazy and close racing between those two. Liam out in front in 8th position right now. Him and Juicebox both on the 3-lap-old mediums. And Jeb is now in 10th position here on the 1-lap-old mediums. I do believe he repaired his wing. No, he didn't. So he pitted Henry without replacing that end plate. He thought that he had enough pace in that car without it. So good for him. He didn't lose as much time as a result. And hopefully here, that strategy he's on with that fresh set of mediums to the end of the race will prove good for him. And now there's another retirement here. That's Jay. We'll see what happened. That's Ferge Pavia off onto the outside, coming through that right-hander into Sector 3. And we have half of the grid here in Tier 2 out of this race. Very, very interesting racing going on here as we are now on lap 12 of 22. We are at the halfway point. Luktra with an 8-second lead over Astrodate right now. He is just showing so much speed in that Mercedes, but I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, Luktra, currently leading this race, does and has to pit once again because he went from softs to softs. All of these drivers are required to use at the very least 2 different compounds in this race. So Luktra definitely going to have to pit again here. And the lack of physical safety cars we've been seeing here in this race may prove to be an issue for him, as he will lose a significant amount of time in the very long pit lane here in Spa. Maxim and Astrodate, both on those medium tires, looking to go long. Those tires can make the distance all the way from lap 2. So here we are on lap 12. Maxim has been on those tires since lap 6. Astrodate since lap 5. So they will be able to go to the end on those tires given they manage the degradation appropriately. And it's Robbo now and Matt. You can see there they've exchanged positions. We didn't get to see it on broadcast, unfortunately, but Matt with that wing damage is still looking quite quick in the McLaren. His teammate Jay in 6th right now will hopefully be able to join him. Robbo showing great speed on those hard compound tires, though, in the Alfa Romeo. He is the only driver on the grid right now on the hards, just as Luktra is the only driver on the grid on the softs. Everybody else running mediums. And this race has been so dynamic. You can look at all of the different lap life numbers on those tire compounds. It's absolutely crazy. Luktra stays out on the 8-lap-old soft compound tires now. I feel like we'll see him pit at the end of this lap because he is going to begin to drop off as Astrodate is on those mediums right now. We'll have to take a look and see if he's able to bring that gap down.
It's having technical difficulties at the moment, unfortunately.
They seem to be happening quite often lately here on the Formula 1 2019 game. Tons of technical difficulties, tons of bug issues, and let us hope that they are all fixed and remedied ahead of the release of Formula 1 2019, or sorry, I almost said 2019, but Formula 1 2020 coming out later this summer. Astrodate has been improving his time. He's taken 2/10 out of Luktra so far here on this lap. I would be surprised to see Luktra carry on through without pitting at the end of this lap. And there we have it, folks. That's Luktra now into the pits, very tight to the inside of that pit entry. He almost nicked it, but doing a good job getting that car slowed down upon pit entry, not taking any unnecessary penalties here. You're going to see him jump onto those medium compound tires. That's Astrodate out in front of him. Where's Maxim going to come? Let's have a look. It's going to be close here. I think Maxim's going to get
just
out
in
in
front.
front, but Matt
Yeah.
now coming into the pits. It looks like he's going to decide to change over that wing. Let's see if he jumps onto some softs now. He takes a 5-second penalty on entry into the pits. Not something he's going to be very happy about. His teammate now, Jay, on the 5-lap old mediums is into 5th. He passes his teammate well in the pit lane. Very good from him. He's having a good race here so far. Liam is now into 6th, and Matt will have to look and see where he comes out. But Jeb now down into turn 1, doing very good here in this race. He's on for a fantastic finish. You can see he's going to get out in front of Matt there. Matt comes out in 9th, and it's a Max now winding through that first turn is going to be 10th. So all of the drivers currently left on grid on for some points finishing here in Spa, as long as they're able to keep those cars together. But realistically, they are the only, they made it this far. There's only points being awarded to the top 10 drivers, so I do believe all of the drivers you see on the grid right now have locked in some points finishes here, regardless of whether they finish the race or not. Of course, we'll have to take a look at the rules and see how points are rewarded after that, but if I'm not mistaken, they will be rewarded points whether they finish the race or not, as long as they're in those positions when the race ends. Matt, we saw Jeb get out in front of Matt when he came out of the pits, but Matt, with that fresh soft compound tire on the car, he is looking quite quick, and we do see there that he did not repair his wing. So Jeb and Matt right now both running with a little bit of wing damage. Jeb goes a little wide there through the right-hander in Sector 3. He almost taps the wall. He did a good job of getting the car back under control. Of course, you guys have to see Jeb currently driving this entire race with wing damage. And I have to say, he's been doing an absolutely fantastic job. Matt now looking at Juicebox. He's going to have the DRS down into turn 1. He makes the move up the outside. You can see there, Matt out in front of Juicebox. Juicebox on the inside. There's a little bit of contact there. Matt goes deep into turn 1 again. Juicebox right on his rear. Juicebox now going to have the DRS up through Eau Rouge here. Jeb not quite close enough to have a look, but you can see as he comes up the hill, the DRS notification in the bottom right corner on the telemetry, the rear wing now wide open. He is gaining on that McLaren. The speed in that Red Bull isn't going to be enough this time around, though. You can see Matt conserving a little bit of his battery there. Looking pretty clean through these turns. Keep in mind he's driving with wing damage at the moment, so he's looking good in 7th position at the moment. And he is on those soft compound tires. Given he manages them well, he will definitely be able to make it to the end of the race on those. We have Liam in 6th, Jay in 5th, Robbo in 4th, Luktra in 3rd at the moment. He is on the fresh medium compound tires, looking to catch up with the Alfa Romeo of Maxim. And we have Astrode leading this race on lap 15. As he comes around the final 2 turns of the lap, he is about to begin lap 16. 7 laps to go here in Spa.
Think Luktra will catch up? I think he will.
Luktra, with this pace that he's been showing here so far in this race, he is going to have DRS, I do believe, coming up out of Eau Rouge on the Alfa Romeo driver. He's on those fresh tires. He's going to have fantastic speed here. I don't think the race win is out of his reach. He is flying here in Belgium. Look at the absolute speed of this Mercedes catching up to that Alfa Romeo right now. Of course, guys, all of these drivers need to be extremely careful not to take any unnecessary penalties, because at the end of these races, they always play a role.
Looks like my game has fixed itself eventually. So thank you for that, Cody's. I don't know what went on there. And I can see everything back to normal. Maxime B 5.2 off Asher right now. Luktra just behind him on the straight. Gets the DRS wide open. Very clean overtake.
Now that Maxim is out of Luktra's way and in the rearview mirrors, he only has one target remaining on his radar, and that is, of course, the Haas of Astrodate. And I have to say, Astrodate doing a fantastic job here in this race. Of course, he was your pick for the race win, Henry, if I do recall.
Should have bet on that.
He is showing fantastic patience and skill here in this race. Of course, a lot of drivers here, unfortunately, unable to finish. You can see there, Ferch Pavia, Kai Bacchini, Jack S, CJ Virtual, Extreme, Sensorless, who is a reserve today, Gadwin, Racer 33, and Tammy Halla have all, unfortunately, been unable to finish this race in Spa. But it is Luktra still in second position here, and he claps the fastest lap, a 1:46. Very nice from him, and Maxim is still within a second range of that Mercedes. Hopefully he's able to maintain it, but he is going to be feeling some drop-off from those medium compound tires. Will he be within DRS range? Up Eau Rouge, he will. So that is going to be very good for the Canadian, but I'm afraid it won't be enough to get himself back into DRS range for this lap. You know, he needs to maintain at least a second gap throughout Sector 3.
Oh no, and Robbo! Oh, what a shame. 4 laps from the last
Matt
lap.
flying up now into 6th place he goes. Robbo has unfortunately crashed at the top of Eau Rouge. You can see his car off to the right. Jeb slowing down through Eau Rouge. He cuts the turn a little bit there, but rather safe than sorry. I don't blame him one bit. And that's Itza Max in the Red Bull flying through Sector 3 right now. He will move up into 10th. But if I'm not mistaken, Henry, that is a confirmed 10th place finish for the Alfa Romeo driver of Robbo.
It is very nice from him.
Maxim now, as we mentioned, very, very, you know, he's not far behind Luktra, but he isn't going to be within that DRS coming into the 2 final turns of the lap. So he won't have DRS going down into turn 1, and he won't have DRS going up Eau Rouge either. So
Luke he caught up a second in that lap. Asherdite. The comeback could be on right here with 3 laps remaining.
I have to say, Luktra must have an extremely good engineer right now. His tire strategies have been on point. And I have to say, if he's able to catch Astrodate here, it will be a race to remember for him. Not only because he managed to do it in 2 stops on, you know, soft, medium, but because it is Spa, of course. And a win in Spa is a very, very nice thing for anybody.
Gap keeps closing.
Things are intensifying as we get to the end of this race. We have 3 laps to go here for Luktra to catch up to Astrodate, and Matt takes a 3-second time penalty. Very unfortunate. So if Juicebox is able to catch him, he might be on for a 6th place finish if those penalties get to be too much for the McLaren driver. But I have to say, the McLaren's doing a fantastic job here in this race. They're running 4th and 6th right now. They did very well in qualifying. We saw them running in, I believe, 4th and 5th earlier, or 3rd and 4th. I don't quite remember exactly which positions, but they were running side by side. And Luktra 3.5 seconds away from Astrodate in that Haas at the moment. Now, for all of those tuning in, as there isn't too much going on circuit just yet, I do want to say one thing. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that follow button, because in just under 1 hour, we are going to be live once again for the Tier 1 division, where, well, Henry, I don't know what to expect for that, but of course Henry, my co-commentator here for Tier 2, will be racing for the Williams squad in that race, so of course tune in for that and give him some love.
I cannot wait. Just
You're, I
such
feel
an
like you're
exciting
probably
race.
watching this race is starting to make you a little nervous, maybe. Looking at that timing
It is a
tower.
little bit. Just a little bit. I hope not to bin it. That's my first goal.
Now, I'm not too sure if Astrodate has any penalties, but it is Luktra within 3 seconds now of the Haas driver. And
Quick update for you on penalties. Astrodite has 1 penalty of 3 seconds, and so does Luktra.
oh my dear, so both of these drivers with 3-second time penalties. And speaking of penalties, Liam takes a 3-second time penalty, and the gap right now between him and Matt is 3 seconds. So given Liam doesn't have any more penalties, it's quite possible we see even Matt jump ahead into 5th as well for a 4-5 finish for the McLarens. Jay, unfortunately, I do not believe we're going to see him jump onto the podium. I don't know how many penalties Maxim has, but Jeb is in 8th at the moment, and he is on for a fantastic finish here in
Maxime has
Spa.
no penalties.
So Maxim with no penalties, he is gaining
Jay-
on Luktra. So, like we always say, penalties here have the potential to change a lot. And as you can see, the gaps right now between the podium drivers aren't that massive. 2.3 seconds for Luktra behind Astrodate, and there's Maxim. He cuts the final chicane. Very unfortunate. He takes a 3-second time penalty. And
Astrodite with
Astrodite,
a 3 second. Oh my god.
oh my god, the penalties are going to play a massive role here.
If Luktra can hold it out and be clean for 2 more laps, especially with them fresher tyres as well. Astrodite is definitely going to be feeling them tyres right now.
Now, I just want to take a second to say, ladies and gentlemen, I've commentated many league races, of course, most of them being for MRL, but I've commentated for many other leagues, and I've met a few of these drivers over the course of that time, and Jeb has been a driver I've seen race for quite some time, and I have to say, I am a fan, because he is doing a fantastic job here in Spa, wouldn't you say, Henry?
Yeah, very good. Nice, very nice of him to see.
He has not, of course, had the best luck in the past couple of races for MRL, and I know he races in other leagues, and from what I hear, things have not been going that good, but hopefully he's able to finish things here with a smile on his face, because he is in 8th at the moment.
Yeah, Luktra trying out DRS.
Luktra is just showing so
Rouge.
much speed in this car right now. He is 1.3 seconds away from Astrodate as we come into the final 2 turns. We're about to begin the final lap of the race, folks. Very clean there for Luktra.
Will he get the DRS?
He's not going to have it into turn 1 off course, but rounding that first turn now. He has a fairly good exit here. He's 1.1 away from Astrodate. Is he going to get enough power out of that car up into the Eau Rouge Hill? Let's take a look and see. He's keeping it really clean through here. He has a great carry of momentum, but no DRS for him. So this is going to be an absolute race of pure car power to the end. And Maxim, 4.2 seconds away from Luktra right now.
Oh no, Luktra with the 3 seconds.
Oh my god.
Oh,
so that's
no.
6 seconds for Astrodite and 6 seconds for Luktra if they haven't, and they can't serve that time in the pits, Henry. So both of these drivers with 6 seconds in time penalties, Maxim could quite possibly be on for a win here in Spa.
I don't want to jinx it.
Oh my God, the chills, Henry. I am so
my
excited
God.
right now. We have Astronaut leading this race. Luktra very close behind him, less than a second the gap. In second right now, Maxim in third, and they are looking for the podiums. All Maxim has to do is keep it clean. We saw him take a penalty on the last turn of the circuit, last lap round. We'll have to see if he's able to keep it clean here on the final lap of this race. He sets a purple sector 2 here on his final lap of the race. He is absolutely flying in that
pushing
Alfa
that car to the
Romeo.
max.
He knows that these guys have penalties. Through the
As they come
final
around
2
the final
turns.
chicane.
Oh my God, okay, here we go. Aphrodite looking across the line in first. He crosses the line. Luktra in second. Where are they going to finish? Maxim B still has to cross the line.
Oh.
And it is a 1-2-3. As we saw, Aphrodite wins here in Spa. Luktra finishes second and Maxim finishes third. The Canadian driver, great job from him. And we have Jay rounding the final turn now. He is going to come home in fourth position. Liam now in the Mercedes. Given these penalties all of the drivers have don't affect things, he is going to cross the line and finish fifth. Fantastic job from the Mercedes squad here today. And Matt in sixth. Juicebox rounding the final 2 turns right now. Is Matt's position going to stick?
Him.
We'll have to see. And Matt remains sixth. So fantastic job from the McLarens and the Mercedes today. And I have to say the Haas's have done a fantastic job as well, as Jeb crosses the line. Jeb finishes 8th here in Belgium. Oh my God, what a race. I can't believe it. And I have to say I'm extremely thankful that Cody's let us get through this one unimpeded. Henry. Oh my God.
What a race. The final 2 laps were very nice.
That was a great race. Congratulations to Aphrodite on the win. Luktra just couldn't quite keep the penalties down. If he was able to, that was him into the win. Of course, the Canadian Maxim in third. He was about to take both of them on for the race win there, but penalties for all of them, unfortunately, kept things as they were when they crossed the line. If Maxim hadn't taken that penalty into that last turn, through I think it was lap 20 he took it on, heading into lap 1, heading into lap 21 I think he took that penalty on that final turn curbing, and it's extremely unfortunate for him, but he was driving such a clean race. There we have it, folks. Aphrodite is your winner here in Belgium for the Tier 2 Misfits Racing League division. Luktra finishes in second after a win in Italy last week. Maxim in third, Jay in fourth, Liam in fifth, Matt in sixth, Juicebox seventh, Jeb in eighth. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, Jeb had a superb drive here in Spa, having started in 19th position, managing to keep that car out of the wall, not spinning. He kept it so great, and to keep in mind, he was retired. He retired. He crashed in qualification, so he was able to keep things together for the end. And oh man, what a race! What a race! But for all of you guys tuning in, that was, of course, Misfits Racing League Tier 2. And every Thursday we have these races, folks. Next week we'll have round 12, of course, at the same time. If you're new to the Twitch channel, make sure you smash that follow button, because we are going to be live once again in just around 40 minutes time for the Tier 1 League Racing action. Of course, with me today is Henry, and Henry will be racing in there, and my name is Striphium. Do you have any closing comments for our viewers, Henry?
Just thanks for watching, really. It's very nice Spa race that was.
If you missed, if you were coming in late on the race, just a quick note, of course, all of our races, as well as shortened race highlights, will be available on YouTube. So, of course, hit that panel down below and follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube if you're interested in checking out some fantastic racing action. That race was just something else. But of course, guys, that is going to wrap it up for us. We will see you guys in a short while. Thank you again, and whew. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button to let us know, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more great racing content. We are live on Twitch every week on twitch.tv Misfits Racing League. Hit us up in the description below for our Discord and Twitter links as well. Always looking to get connected on those, and if you're interested in joining the MRL, Discord is the place to be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.